This has serious implications for the Miami Heat, as there has been a huge update in regards to their future, what potential trades could look like, and also the real reason why they did not do the Kevin Durant trade. There's a lot to go over right now, and we're going to break all of it down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Heat Digest. It's Chris here. We're going to jump right into things as always. If you guys are part of that 83% that's not subscribed to Heat Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily Miami Heat updates. We are on that grind right now. Me and Houston have so many great videos for you guys that you do not want to miss out on. We're having so much fun right now, and once we get into that regular season, oh man, things are only going to kick up even more with some live streams, some YouTube shorts, some TikToks. There's going to be a lot of fun. But let's jump into the video, guys. You're here to talk basketball, and so am I. Look, here's what we know. Pat Riley is going to run this team until he no longer can. Unless, check out my last video, and there might be a different scenario coming there. But as long as Pat Riley is running this team, the Heat will always be into big moves and trying to do anything that's possible to not do an actual rebuild. Because at the end of the day, they're the Miami Heat. Every time it comes down to it, the Heat are able to grab a great free agent. It's just what happens. Whether it's bringing in Jimmy Butler when it felt like things were at the jaws of defeat and everyone was making jokes about how the Bulls were going to be a 7th or an 8th seed instead of Jimmy sticking around with Philly where he could potentially win a ring, and how that obviously worked out way better for Miami because of Jimmy, but also because of the supporting cast, including Bam, Tyler Hero, guys who are still here, Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, all those guys. But when it comes down to it as well, what we also saw was the LeBron James stuff, where he, and along with Chris Bosh, joined the Heat. We see that the Miami Heat have always been able to sway free agents and just players away. I mean, again, you go all the way back to Shaquille O'Neal with this stuff, to Big Shaq, and what it comes down to is the Heat know they could sway free agents, and Pat Riley knows he could sway guys to sway stars to coming to the Miami Heat, and they usually are always able to avoid tanking. And when it comes down to it, it sometimes is at the sacrifice of younger players, but also sometimes younger players are what kick the tires on this whole situation and bring them back. And no younger player has been shining brighter after last season than Kel'el Ware. Kel'el Ware came into the Heat and was picked outside of the lottery and was absolutely awesome for the Heat. He was climbing up draft boards in 2024 with a good reason, because Ware is that dude. He is a super, super talented player who's a big man but can play with some guard skill as well. He's truly one of those unicorn type builds that every team really wishes they could have, and the Heat have him on a very cheap deal with a future that is so, so, so bright. And with all that being said, because of the Heat being known for big moves, Kel'el Ware was listed by Bleacher Report as the third best trade chip in the NBA right now. Kel'el Ware is getting serious respect, and he deserves all of that respect if we're being honest. When it comes down to it, Kel'el Ware has been absolutely awesome for the Miami Heat 1 year in, and we know that year 2 jump is going to be phenomenal. And with all that in mind, things are really heating up in regards to all this Kel'el Ware talk, especially in regards to trades, because what we saw was Kevin Durant and that whole situation get impacted by Kel'el Ware, and we're going to talk about more of that later, that you guys do know a lot of those details already. But just diving right into all this Kel'el Ware stuff, when you look at Ware, he's a player who last season put up 9.3 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and 1 assist while blocking a shot per game, shooting 55% from the field and 31.5% from 3, with that 3-point shot looking like it's only going to get better with time. Ware can be a rim runner, he can catch lobs, he can really do it all. He's one of those players that you just marvel at and know that the Heat once again have pulled it off. They've drafted well, and now it's time for that Miami Heat development to do what that Miami Heat development does. And with that, we can all trust that Kel'el Ware is going to be a great player. In Bleacher Report, they talked about this whole situation, saying, well, the Heat threw their hat into the Kevin Durant sweepstakes this summer. They did so while keeping Kel'el Ware out of those talks, and that probably torpedoed their chances, while also making clear how much they value the athletic 7-footer with a potential unicorn blend of modern big man skills. So why bother putting Ware on this list? Because there's a difference between not wanting to flip a 21-year-old for a 36-year-old on an expiring contract and actually making that young player outright untouchable. Now, on top of that, Bleacher Report mentioned that there's almost assuredly a return rich enough for Miami that would loosen its grip on Ware, but it would take quite a bit. He wasn't a rotation player at the start of his freshman season, and by the end of it, he was a nightly starter and an all-rookie second-teamer. He looks like he'll provide both shot blocking and perimeter shooting, plus above the rim finishing and plenty of rebounding. during his prime and could push for stardom if everything breaks right with his development. And as we just said, when it comes to that Miami Heat development, Kel'el Ware is in great hands. So that's really what happened with Kevin Durant more than anything, as we know. The Heat didn't want to trade Kel'el Ware for Durant. Durant's 36 years old, has never been the leader on an NBA championship team. That was Steph Curry's teams that Durant was winning on. Yeah, maybe Durant was the best player, which I would say he was, but at the same time, those were Steph Curry's teams. They were engines that ran on Steph Curry. When Steph Curry was out, the Warriors throughout that 3-year span were 19 and 17. When Kevin Durant was out, the Warriors' win percentage didn't change at all. So we know who was the engine of that team that made them work. It was Steph Curry. Durant has never led a team to the promised land before, and the Heat didn't want to trade for an expiring contract with Kevin Durant wanting a big extension and also entering year 18 of his career. It just didn't make sense, and I honestly think, or is he's entering year 19. No. Yes, year 19. Year 19! It's a lot of years. Or year 18. 2007, 2008 was his first season. Next year's 25, 26. Year 18. Doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Year very long in the NBA can legally go fight overseas in a war. That's how old Kevin Durant's career is right now. Of course the Heat didn't want to trade Kel'el Ware for them. Kel'el Ware is breaking out at the seams, and all we're seeing is a guy whose minutes are increasing for obvious reasons, and we know how the Heat develop guys. This was the right move to not go out there and do anything and keep Kel'el Ware on this team. I mean, look, in the playoffs, the numbers weren't great, but the minutes, they got decreased a little bit. He put up 4.5, or really 5 points and 5 rebounds a game with 1 assist. He was still doing his thing, though. He still was being Kel'el Ware. It was just at a smaller clip, and yeah, the three-point shooting took a tiny bit of a dip, but it was his first playoffs. When you're going up against Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, I'm not really going to hold a ton of stock into everything here. I'm not really going to say that it's something that we should really even, I don't want to say not care about, but something we shouldn't really worry about at all right now. And when you think about it, this is still the same guy that dropped 25 and 8 and outplayed Victor Wembanyama this season as a rookie. I mean, Kel'el Ware, he has shown serious potential. Not too many people show up and show out against Victor Wembanyama, and then Kel'el Ware did just that. We had a guy go out there and just show everything he could do and did it at the best time possible. And the lob catching is natural. We know he's got those rim running abilities. We know he has those abilities of an athletic big man. But then when that athletic big man can also go behind the arc and hit threes, set screens, roll off them perfectly, get around Victor Wembanyama, get offensive rebounds over Victor Wembanyama, that is when you start to think, okay, there's something great here. When shot blocking comes that naturally to you, this young duo of Kel'el Ware and also having Jaime Jaquez Jr., it's a nice little core because of Kel'el Ware. And that's not anything against Jaquez at all. But when it comes down to it, this is a guy who looks like is a complete future building block. Somebody you could build a team around in just a couple of years. Those don't come around very often, especially not after the NBA draft lottery. But that's the Heat for you. They know how to draft when LeBron's not telling them to pick Shabazz Napier. The Heat know how to draft. And when they know how to draft and develop, unless they can't be developed because LeBron wanted you to pick Shabazz Napier, then things really will work out. And I trust that the Heat know what they're doing with Kel'el Ware. Now, yes, I'm not saying he's untouchable because I'm going to be honest, he's not. He's not untouchable. This man is not untouchable. I know some of you are going to hate me for saying it, but he's not. There's some trade out there some way for one of the top players in the NBA that you trade Kel'el Ware for. But when I mean that, I'm not saying, oh, well, you go trade him for someone who's like a fringe all-star. And I'm not saying that at all. And I'm also not calling Kevin Durant a fringe all-star by any means of this. But if Luka were to become available, that's when you consider trading Kel'el Ware. If LeBron becomes available, that's when you don't consider trading Kel'el Ware, because it's the same thing as KD, where this guy's old. We have this future piece. But when there's someone great, someone with super, super high trade value, that is the situation in which Kel'el Ware is not untouchable. But if it's someone who's not going to be with you for the long haul and be able to help you, then let Kel'el Ware be here for the long haul and help you. That is the way that I see it. I mean, he's the 5th rated player on the Heat in Miami 2K right now, which is pretty exciting to see. And also, this is a fun starting lineup if this is the lineup that we see next season. Tyler Hero at the 1, Norman Powell at the 2, Andrew Wiggins at the 3, Kel'el Ware at the 4, and Bam Adebayo at the 5. That's a fun team that has potential to actually make some noise in a weak Eastern Conference. I mean, Hero's an all-star, Bam's an all-star, Kel'el Ware looks like a future all-star, Norman Powell should have been an all-star, and Andrew Wiggins is a very solid player when he actually cares. And on the Heat, you can't fake it. You're not going to fake it here. So I think this is a really, really good time for the Miami Heat right now, and I don't think people understand how good this could actually turn out to be. The Heat are a sleeper this year, man. Don't get it twisted. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. I will catch you on the next one.